Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. Today I wanted to take just a little bit of time and talk to you about scroll sawing. I get a lot of questions about different topics when it comes to scroll sawing, and I wanted to pick out some of the most common questions I get asked from week to week about scroll sawing. So with that, let's just begin. One of the biggest questions I get is what's the difference between a pinned and pinless scroll saw? And it's really simple. It's all about the blade. The blade on a pinned scroll saw has two pins at each end of the blade. This holds it in the top and the bottom. On the pinless, they do not have those pins. The difference is not just the blade, but the cuts you make with the blade. You can make better frets or smaller fret cuts with pinless blades because you do not have to drill a larger hole for the pinned in blades. Maybe that can see that a little bit better between a pinned in blade. A pinless blade would be without those pins. Imagine drilling a hole and that has to go through it before you can start cutting. So pinless is better for fret work. You could do a lot with a pinned in blade, but it is limited. Where do you find all your patterns online? Well, I simply Google search them. There are a lot of great content creators out there that do a great job with patterns. Steve Good is an excellent example. I love Steve Good. I love his work and everything he stands for as far as his pattern making. Everything he has is for free. One thing I would like to say about patterns. I am a hobbyist. I do this for fun. I do not sell my work, nor do I do it to make an income. So when I find these online, I'm not taking from someone else and making money off of their particular item. If you're in this to make a living at it, I strongly suggest that you purchase your plans through someone versus taking from the internet and using them for profit or gain for yourself. That's just, in my personal opinion, not right. If you're going to do it as a business, be legitimate and do it the right way. But there are many sites out there when it comes to scroll saw patterns that you could go to, and even, like I said, the hobbyists doing it just for fun, Google Images. What do you use to attach your pattern to the wood? For me, on any kind of pattern that I've printed off, something like this, this regular spray adhesive works great for spraying on the back, let it get a little tacky, about 20-30 seconds, turn it around, place it on the wood where you want it to go, then you can cut the outline. How do you get the residual pattern off the wood after you've cut? A lot of people use mineral spirits. I simply use a heat gun. This makes less of a mess. You have to do a little bit of sanding, but it's for the most part off. What is the best scroll saw for a beginner? Define beginner. When I was a beginner, I went to Harbor Freight and I got the Harbor Freight scroll saw. This done me justice for 2 years. It is a pinned in blade, so it was limited to what I could cut. But it gave me the basic fundamentals of what scroll sawing was. It helped me understand if I liked it or not. When you say you're a beginner, are you already scrolling or are you looking to get into scrolling? And the reason I ask that is because a lot of people don't understand or realize it does take a lot of patience when it comes to scroll sawing. Some people just don't get into it. They think they want to do it and realize, hey, there's a lot into that and it takes a lot of patience. So first I would say scroll something off of friends. If you have a workspace somewhere, a workshop somewhere that you could use a scroll saw and try it out and see if you even like it. Then start looking into scroll sawing. I can't tell you which is the best scroll saw there is. I could tell you what I have now, the DeWalt 788. It's a great scroll saw. It has very, very limited vibrations when it comes to versus a Harbor Freight. But when you go from a Harbor Freight to a name brand saw, you pay for what you get. So obviously you could go up even higher than that. But again, I'm just a hobbyist. I'm enjoying what I'm doing. And for me, the DeWalt 788 does a great job. What do you do about dust collection for the scroll saw? Honestly, nothing. I did nothing and I've never done anything until this past year. I went to Woodworking in America and I came across a gentleman who invented this thing called the Scrollnado. This is something that I want to show you today. We're going to install it on mine and show you how it works. So why is dust collection important? Well, you don't want it in your lungs, and this is prior to me putting anything on. I just made a little cut, and you see all the little dust particles that's on this. This is just prior to me putting any kind of dust collection on this at all. Now if you check out underneath, see all this buildup across the top is all from scroll saw dust. And this is what we're going to try to prevent from getting in our lungs. So first, let's clean this up. On this particular scroll saw, it's got two bolts here and here that need to be taken off so we can get the bed of the scroll saw off. You'll have to do this and able to install the hose to the Scrollnado.
Loosen the tension. We're going to remove the blade from top and bottom. Pull straight out. Remove the bed.
On the back end, you'll have a little hole underneath the peg where the bed sits. That's where the hose that has here will come up underneath and go into the bottom of this. You'll have another hose here with a notch at the end. This will be for the blade insert, so this end will go here. Once you have it inserted into the tube, don't forget to put your track underneath the bottom here to hold it steady as it's going straight down this tube. So where the slot and the blade inserts through the hole, there's a bend on the bottom of this one which will insert above this guard. So just bend that down, insert that over the guard. Just like that, you've got your slot for the blade. Now we can put the table back on. On the opposite side, you've got a magnetic beveled channel holder. This just sticks, boom, right to the side, just like that. The piece hose that comes around the back of the scroll saw, inserting your tube into the scroll saw, the tube into the channel, down to your cutting blade, just like so. The only thing left to do is hook up the main hose to your shop vac, which is 1.25 inches, and you'll be good to go. So we're going to reinsert the blade, tighten it down, let's tension it up, and let's go ahead and square it up too as well to make sure we got the table back on good and square. Alright, most scroll saws come with this blaster which blows the sawdust off of your pattern so you can see your line as you're cutting. That's all great, but it still creates dust on top and it falls down. You got dust everywhere. We're not even going to use this. We're going to see how this does without the blower completely off. So let's look here and pull the light up. Very, very few pieces of dust at all. What impresses me the most, look under here. Let me get the light. Clean as a whistle. The only dust collection for a scroll saw that actually vacuums above and below. That is so cool. So I hope that answered a lot of your questions as it comes to scroll sawing, dust collection, and different things that go along with scroll sawing. But I'd like to leave a couple of links down below to some channels that I'd like for you to check out that are really experts when it comes to scroll sawing, pattern making, things of that nature. I'm just a hobbyist. I'm just having fun, sharing what I've learned. But people like Steve Good, Charles Deering, you need to check out Charles's channel. Check out his patterns. He's got some phenomenal patterns if you want to get into portraits or nature. It's just absolutely gorgeous work he does, and he's a fabulous scroll sawer. There's just so many out there, but I'll leave some links down below for some channels to check out. I'd like to thank you for watching, and always remember, be kind to one another.